How's it going, everyone? And it seems like the PlayStation 3 backwards compatibility rumors on PlayStation 5 are getting a little bit more interesting, as Sony has filed a brand new patent in regards to backwards compatibility. We'll talk about that. On top of that, interesting JRPG just got leaked by Xseed. Right off the top, as noted on Respawn first, Sony and Mark Cerny, the architect behind PS4 and PS5, might be dropping PS3 backwards compatibility as a brand new patent that was filed earlier this year. However, its first publication was June the 27th, titled Backwards Compatibility Testing of Software in a Mode That Attempts to Induce Skew. The patent itself describes timing testing mode. This mode is designed to deliberately induce skew, basically creating timing variations that might mess with how software runs. Obviously, software on PlayStation 3 is super interesting because while the PlayStation 3 isn't this console that pushed incredible visuals by today's standards, obviously it's a console that's a few generations old. Those of you that aren't familiar with the PS3 might be wondering, why is this such a holy grail? Why is the PlayStation 3 the one console that everybody talks about that is difficult to get backwards compatibility done with? Well, it's because of the PlayStation 3's cell architecture. Now, I am not a software engineer, I am not here to pretend like I am, but what I always heard growing up is that the PlayStation 3 was a little bit more difficult to develop for, based on its cell architecture, and in fact, in a lot of cases, multi-platform games would look slightly worse on the PlayStation 3. However, the developers that really figured out how to utilize the PS3, namely the exclusives, those games looked phenomenal for that generation. I'm talking about a Killzone 3, I'm talking about an Uncharted 2 and 3, Last of Us 1, so on and so forth. The games that could really push the PlayStation 3, oh, they looked incredible for that time frame. However, creating backwards compatibility, that seems to be the issue. Again, I'm not a software engineer, I'm not here to break down the nitty-gritty of why the PlayStation 3 is difficult to emulate or do backwards compatibility with, and obviously, it's possible to emulate. RPCS3 is a thing on PC. However, let's not pretend that RPCS3, while it is incredible, it's not a completely, issue-free solution to emulate PS3 games. But given that, some people were able to figure it out with RPCS3, you would think that Sony, Mark Cerny, and everybody involved could figure it out with the PlayStation 5 running PS3 games, and, hopefully they do get that done, because I'll reiterate over and over again, the PlayStation 3 is one of the more underrated consoles in terms of its exclusive offering. And if you really want to talk about where first party really started to get recognition as tremendous, as, Sony can't go wrong with their first party, I would say it was with the PlayStation 3. That's where Uncharted 2 was beloved. That's when Last of Us came out. That's when Killzone came out. That's when Infamous came out. All of these first party studios really got over in the PlayStation 3 era. Sure, they put out games in the PS2 era that were tremendous. Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter, so on and so forth, but I do think there was a level above with the PS3 titles that also parlayed into that PlayStation 4 generation, and you want those games to be preserved. Not only the first party titles, there's games like Bleach Soul Resurrection, there's games like 3D Dot Game Heroes, there's games like Metal Gear Solid 4, Metal Gear Rising, and I'm sure with those latter two titles, Konami's gonna do something in getting those games onto PlayStation 5 in their own way, and let's be honest, charging a premium for, but nonetheless, those are the types of games I want to see preserved. Heavenly Sword, yes, it's a Ninja Theory game, you'd have to work with Microsoft to figure it out, but we can get that done. Hi-Fi Rush is on PS5, we can figure all this stuff out. Let's remaster Warhawk. Screw the live service games. Screw Concord. Let's get a remastering of Warhawk, and let's bring back the servers on Warhawk. Let's bring back the servers on Massive Action Game. Okay, that's a joke, but you get the idea. I just have a soft spot for the PlayStation 3 because in my teenage years, those summer breaks in high school, I was knee-deep into the PS3 library, and I remember staying up until 5 in the morning playing Killzone 2, and obviously, I'll be a little bit biased towards the PS3 all my life, given that there's so much nostalgia for me attached to it, but nevertheless, it looks like we are inching closer and closer to the holy grail that is PS3 backwards compatibility. And you know what? If you want to offer much more value with PlayStation Plus Premium, adding PlayStation 3 titles would be exactly the way to do it. So that would be a great offer. Now, I'm not talking about upping the price of PS Plus Premium, although Sony might get a little wild and they might up the price of PlayStation Plus Premium. Look, if they're adding Infamous 1 and 2, Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time, and all these games into their Plus Premium catalog, yeah, they might be looking at that as a prime opportunity to up the price of Plus Premium. You guys know how Sony operates these days. All right, moving on from that, a couple things to note. Ys Memoir, The Oath in Felghana looks to be coming west. Now, Ys Memoir, The Oath in Felghana is a remastering of Ys Oath in Felghana, which I personally played the game on the PlayStation Portable. Ys Oath in Felghana was originally released in 2010 on PSP and quickly became known as one of the best games in the action RPG series Ys. This is an HD remaster version that includes some never-before-seen elements and is sure to delight fans of the original. Event scenes fully voiced and long-awaited voiceover added for Adol the Adventurer. In addition to voiced events featuring over 30 characters, a new voiceover has been added for the main character in Adol. New visuals have been added, HD remastering and higher sound quality, 3 different soundtrack options to choose from, high-speed mode, and support for beginners, and permanent bonus reversible jacket. And then on top of that, this has been only available in Japan, but Xseed, in a now-deleted tweet, noted time is running out to play our demos and cosplay photo op. Only one day left to play the demos for Ys Memoir, The Oath in Felghana, and a couple of other titles, but Ys Memoir, The Oath in Felghana is the game of note here, and it looks like it will be coming to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Switch, given that that's available in those platforms in Japan. You know, nice to see Ys get more support over here stateside. Franchises like Ys and even franchises like Tales of a decade ago, those were the franchises that weren't getting a lot of love stateside. Yes, you would get a couple of Ys titles here and there on the PSP, Ys 7, you would get Ys Memories of Celceta on PS Vita, so on and so forth, but it wasn't at a consistent level. That is seemingly changing with Ys 8, Ys 9, and Ys 10 all coming out, you know, not day and day with the Japanese releases, but relatively quickly after. Ys 10 coming out later this year, Ys 9 came out a few years ago, and Ys 8, I think, got a lot of people into the franchise as well. Just seeing that level of consistency with franchises like Ys, with franchises like Legend of Heroes, even Tales of, again, back in the day, we were waiting years to get titles like Tales of Xillia over here stateside, and some titles would just never come out stateside, but that has seemingly changed. Like, if you're a JRPG fan, the world we're living in now is so much better than when I grew up in that PlayStation 3 era, where we were scratching and clawing, trying to get, you know, the Tales of games over here and trying to get some of the Ys titles. And Tales of Vesperia, for example, got a PlayStation 3 release in 2009 in Japan. Didn't come to a PlayStation platform until 2019 with Tales of Vesperia, the Definitive Edition. You guys that are JRPG fans, maybe a little bit younger and don't remember a decade ago, or even over a decade ago, really 15 years ago, you know, you're living much better in terms of getting these games. Like, think about the fact that Final Fantasy 13, yes, a mainline Final Fantasy game, had a 6-month delayed release over here in the West. That would never happen anymore. That ain't ever happening again. You know, the world has changed, and Square Enix is gonna make sure the Final Fantasy games are out, you know, the same day on over here in the West as they are in Japan. But good time to be a JRPG fan, and while Oath in Felghana certainly isn't going to be the biggest one in the world, it's still one to be relatively excited about. But that is going to do it for me. Again, it looks like there's more smoke to the fire when it comes to PlayStation 3 backwards compatibility on PS5. That would be absolutely enormous. And if you can get that back catalog into Plus Premium, would offer a lot of value as far as that's concerned. And Ys Memoir, The Oath in Felghana, is looking to come over here stateside. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.
Uh, oh my god. Memphis. Cooldowns. What was I doing? What was this? Oh, okay. Holy shit.
I'm on the hunt for some of the rarest, most expensive game consoles of all time. In the past, we've used Sendico to buy items directly from Japan. What's cool about it is that it allows you to not only bid on auctions, but also they will help to pack everything up and ship it directly to you. Now, I have no affiliation with Sendico, but I will just be really honest with you. We've had very good luck with Sendico in the past. Game Boy Advance SP Famicom. Now, I already have one of these, but this is cool. Oh, it's $147. Oh, that's not cool. This is Poke Park Wii, but it also has, is that Pokemon? Colosseum, the Japanese version of Pokemon Colosseum. I'm looking for weird, rare stuff. I'm also just looking for games that I want. So this is a Sakura Pink PlayStation 2 for $94. Yo, so this is a PS3 Slim for $95, and it's very red, aggressively red. A 3DS XL Charizard edition. What is this? N64 DD main unit with the RandNet starter kit for $3,000. If you're unfamiliar, the N64 DD was a drive attachment for the Nintendo 64.
Of course, yeah.
Now this was a massive
Jesus Christ.
failure. Very few people purchased these. Here's something else that's not quite a Japanese exclusive, but pretty close to it. It is the Panasonic 3DO. This is one of the very first CD-based 3D consoles. So this one's $187, so it's actually not too bad. So you've got yourselves a couple of controllers. You see this goofy looking console. It is super silly looking. So let me do this. Let me check with my good buddy, Mr. American Express, to see exactly what my budget is. And I'm gonna place an order with Syndico to get my hands on some of these fancy consoles that I should definitely not buy. Okay, so this is 60 kilograms of Syndico goodness. So this is actually supposed to be here a few days ago, but I got a call from FedEx saying, hey, we've got a package with the wrong address on it. I'm like, sure, whatever. But they just didn't put the address on it. They just put Los Angeles and my name and phone number, and FedEx took it for some reason. And in fact, if we actually hadn't had the FedEx issue, I can't believe I'm about to say this would have shown up from Japan next day. Alex, how much did I pay for my FedEx shipping via Syndico?
You paid a total of 30,815 yen, which is roughly just under 200 US dollars.
That's actually not as bad as I thought.
No, I will tell you, if I tried to take these same boxes and ship them from here to, like, I don't know, down the street, it would probably cost me over $200 with FedEx. Like, it is a very reasonable price. $200 in shipping is a lot, but these are huge, heavy boxes. So, like, I am not mad about that at all. Okay. Whoa! Oh, look at this. We have a little from Syndico with love. Well, that's very nice. Thank you very much.
Wait, that's a manga thingy.
Wait, I think Syndico sent us something.
It is a present. So it is the mini Famicom,
Yeah, it's a
right?
remake of the Famicom
Yeah,
with HDMI and everything.
With a Dragon Ball Z game built into it.
That's very nice. Thank you very much, Syndico. Now, full disclosure here, I've never had any contact with Syndico short of asking for help with shipping, so I paid full price for everything. They've never sponsored, there's no affiliate links or anything. So that's you know what? It's a lovely gift. Oh, the gold looks so cool. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna save this for the very end of the video. We're gonna fire this up as our conclusion. All right, first up, we have what looks to be our PS3.
Ooh, I wonder what color that is.
It's purple! Oh,
This is
wait.
where we find out he's colorblind.
Or
Whoa!
homeschooled. That would explain a lot.
Look at this purple PS3.
He said that so confidently and so wrong.
So it's got the gold PS3 font. It's got a real texture to it. It almost looks like automotive paint. It's got a little bit of speckle to it. Try to tell me that is not the coolest looking PS3 you've ever seen, right? I'm feeling pretty confident. I mean, the PS3 Slims were actually fairly, well, okay, I always want to be careful.
Compared to the fat PS3,
Oh, yeah, of course, way
these things were way more reliable.
But the thing is, we're running into this issue when it comes to consoles of a certain vintage. The disk drives are failing, and oftentimes they're
a certain
That's the most
vintage.
pretentious thing I've ever heard. Just
Are you gonna swish it too before you take a swig?
This seems good. This seems like we're making progress. Oh my God, I have to install the hard drive, really?
Yeah.
Here, we got 88 seconds to hang out, my friends. How are
That's like 4 opportunities to make 10 videos.
Yeah, he's on the Mark Wahlberg.
Oh my God.
Don't-
He
no.
prays for 3 hours.
This is like the personal hell I live, where somehow it takes minutes to go 54 seconds.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi.
That's one. Put the pedal to the metal, boys! We're going Gran Turismo racing today! I'm driving a Mazda! Zoom, zoom, motherfucker, let's go! Why is everyone passing me?
near the-
Why are these controls so
bar.
bad?
I don't know why I
Going
thought that
deep,
was
going deep, going deep, going deep! I mean, that works. I'm okay with that.
right now?
Where am I
No? I think we can confirm the PS3 works. We can also confirm that I understand how long 67 seconds takes. About a week. Next up, this is one I have been
Why did they cut him
wanting
off?
for quite a while and couldn't justify, but today I justified it.
Is this a Nintendo 64 DD?
Sore subject, Ken. Okay, I'm gonna level with you. I bid on 3 different N64 DDs. Each one of them went above $1,300, which is the point where I bailed. Look, the N64 DD, I want to get one day, but I couldn't justify that much money for a obscure N64 accessory. We instead got the next best thing, and by next best thing, I mean it has nothing to do with it whatsoever in any way. Behold, my friends, the one and only Panasonic 3DO.
Oh my god.
Yeah, baby.
So, if that doesn't mean anything to you, congratulations on not being old.
I was like just a getting out of the fetus
were a zygote?
phase. Yes, that one.
The 3DO was a CD-based console from the early 90s. So this came out at a time where it was the Wild West of game consoles. At the time, Sega and Nintendo really kind of dominated, but this is when Philips got in with the CDI, Panasonic with the 3DO, of course Sony with the PlayStation, who were tremendously successful. Now this one, I will say, at first I'm like, oh, it's kind of like scuff, but actually this is just the texture. You hear that? Like it's very like bumpy is the best way to describe it. It's one
Stop doing that.
It's fine. It's built like a Panasonic tank.
Spoken like a used car salesman.
This bad boy only got 75,000 miles. You can get it today for a low introductory offer of 24.49% APR on a 96-month loan at $444 a month. So it's nice and clean. So it's got the gold Panasonic logo here. The CD audio, which was something that was a little bit more unique for the 3DO and some of these other consoles. Got the power button, open and close, controller port, and around back, not a whole lot. We've got an expansion slot, mode, S-video, and audio and video out. I would love to demo this for you, except that I forgot to order a game for it. Welcome to Austin's oral history of the 3DO. Pencils down, please. This is going to be an oral exam, and I'm just stalling for time because I need to go on eBay real quick and find the fastest shipping I can for the Need for Speed. Now, when we were doing the research for this video, there were a lot of special editions that I had never seen or heard about. And this is one that I really wish we could have gotten because it looks so sick. But in fact, not only was it rare in Japan, you couldn't even buy this. This was only a, you only could win this through an auction, right?
Lottery.
A lottery, yeah. So this is a properly rare limited edition. This, my friends, is a limited edition Nintendo 3DS LL Charizard.
Oh my god.
So this was, it's an LL, obviously this is the called the XL here, but this is the 3DS XL that has, oh look at that, a nice little bit of foam on it. How sick does that look? Like honestly, isn't that so cool?
I think that is officially the best looking 3DS that we
By far, right? And again, excellent condition. Like if I look really close, a couple little scuffs on the side. It's not completely mint. How much I pay for my super cool Charizard 3DS direct from Japan, which I will remind you was only available via purchasing it if you won a lottery. So, you know, very limited edition and therefore valuable.
We paid $146.
So for the record, if you go on AliExpress,
No, that doesn't count.
you can get the same shell replacement for $1.42.
That's a third-party reproduction. I want the authentic, legitimate, original Zard. All right, now let's see if our Charizard works. Now, surely this will give us no problems, right? No, it's just thinking about it. There we go.
Hey.
The 3DS is elderly at this point. You gotta give it a little bit of time. Okay, my 3D is activated and it looks real bad, like every bit of 3D ever did. Oh, my eyes hurt now. That looks really bad. Oh my God. The 3DS is starting to have a little bit of a renaissance, mostly because you really can't play 3DS. What is wrong with you, Matt?
Oh, this is a good vintage of a console. It's having a renaissance.
So with the 3DS, because you can't really play 3DS games on any newer console, if you want to play anything remotely similar to the original hardware, you gotta go buy yourself a 3DS. The good thing is it clearly seems to work just fine. The bad thing is that I don't have a Pokemon game to play.
What'd it do?
Which is very unfortunate. But I do have Hey Pikmin, which is one of the games for the 3DS.
Is it a
Why did you?
Japanese 3DS game?
It was at this moment he knew he fucked up.
You trying to tell me that the 3DS was actually region locked and it was the DS that was not region locked?
References?
I knew that. I'm just gonna double check. No, it's fine. It's fine. I've got another card here. This has a. Don't worry about what this one is. It's got good games on it. I mean, game, you know, singular. Look at that. It works. What more could you ask for out of a 3DS? Next up, we have yet another unique colorway. Now, I'm not sure if you've recognized this from its distinctive personality and silhouette.
Is this a Nintendo 64 DD?
When we were recently doing a video talking about the illustrious PlayStation 2, part of the thing we were doing for the research was looking for some of the different like models and whatnot to talk about, and we came across this. I did not know that this ever existed, but it was in an old Japanese ad. I wanted to find one. This is a blue PS2. Look at that.
I love that.
Isn't that sick? It's matte. It looks like
No, Matt's right here.
yeah, unfortunately. Now, I don't know much else about it, so this is a little bit of a later model because it does have the expansion bay. For reference, you know, not that I forgot or anything, how much did I pay for this aqua blue PS2 that looks amazing? It's definitely going to be really cool to play.
We paid 8,500 yen, which is roughly about $51-ish.
Are you sure you didn't drop a zero from that?
No.
The only downside is that I do believe the PS2 was region locked. So if you got a bunch of great PS2 Japanese games, like
we do, because we have 4 PS2s we bought last time.
I did do that, didn't I? All right.
I gotta say that this might be the nicest color for a console I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm not even kidding. Dude, the label on the back is also blue,
Yeah.
which is insane.
It looks so cool.
At least
Yeah.
it looks
So we
good.
can get rid of a couple others.
I want one now.
Now we keep them all. So let's see if our PS2 actually works. Now this is going to be region locked, so I know that you need to play Japanese PlayStation games. We actually don't have any PS2 games, but we have a couple of Japanese PS1 games which should work.
Huh. So what you're saying is we have yet another
No.
broken
No.
PS2 in the
Hold on,
office.
wait. No, let me think about
One
this.
of
Let me think about this.
10
Yeah.
that this one is blue.
Am I doing something wrong here? Okay, so input.
You keep buying PS2s that are dead.
This actually is our 10th PS2.
Yeah, I know. And they all don't work.
Color.
So this
Hold on.
is a old school Sony catalog
What color is
specifically
it? It's so
for
beautiful.
the PSX. Now, if you're not familiar, Ken actually did a whole video on the PSX before, but this is basically a PS2
PS2.
that Sony sold back in the late part of the PS2 life cycle. That was absurdly expensive, but it was really powerful. It was also the first time they used the XMB. So it's from December of 2003. Also, shout out to my Sony card. So there were 2 models of it, 160 gig, which was 80,000 yen, and 250 gigs, which was 99,000 yen. PSX, future entertainment power. How cool is this? I found it. I found the other 3DO. Because we ordered so much stuff from Syndico, everything got split across 2 boxes. So
I think it's safe to say that no one in the history of anything has said, "Oh, there's the other 3DO."
You absolutely sold the acting on that one.
the original 3DO here, you can see, has this very chunky but distinctive style. The FC10 is a much more, I would say slim. It's actually not that much smaller. It's more sort of like flat.
It lost its personality.
It did, but you have a cheaper disk drive, I'll say. But other than that, it actually looks pretty similar. Now, this one's a little bit more scuffed, so you have a couple of scratches here and here. But by and large, it looks pretty decent. They've got the same ports and whatnot. Now, you might ask yourself, hey, Austin, now that you've purchased 2 3DOs and forgot to still order the game, well, through the magic of editing, we can fast forward a few days when my copy of Need for Speed shows up from eBay, and we can try both of these 3DOs with the goofy controller. I don't know if I've ever actually done a video on the 3DO. So first of all, there's only one controller port on the front of the 3DO, and the second controller port is in the actual first controller. So if you're gonna play a game with your buddy, you gotta have him plug his controller into your controller, which is questionable. But what's not questionable is on the bottom of the controller, you've got yourself a headphone jack. Dude, this is actually cool. This is actually cool. And to show off just how cool it is, we've got ourselves the Need for Speed. Not like Need for Speed. No. This is the Need for Speed, aka the first one. Okay, the speed of this is terrific. The fact that I was able to close the disc tray and immediately started loading, I would just say that a lot of consoles from this generation, you had to restart a lot. And this one seems like it might just work. Maybe. Possible.
I hope so.
Wow, it loads so fast.
You know what though? I think I know my problem. That disc is not spinning. Like
Did
it's,
you press the disc spin button?
there's no disc spin button. So I'm gonna load a disc up and hopefully this one works, right? Oh, I hear the disc spinning. So that actually is a much better sign. Mr. Sunglasses?
We're about to get
Keys.
the bonus features on this DVD.
So clearly quite primitive looking graphics, but we do have a first person view, which is nice. Oh, hell no, get back here. The controls are not good and the physics are also not good. So 3DO, it sure exists. One of the consoles of all time. I think I know what this one is. So I was a GameCube kid. So I largely skipped out on this generation of gaming. I was still rocking my PS1 for a long time, but I couldn't help myself. I wanted a GameCube, especially because the GameCube was only 100 bucks. Now I had a purple GameCube because that was the color, but Japan got some more unique colors, including an orange GameCube. Now this one I will say is in a little bit rougher cosmetic shape. I did see that in the listing, but it's still cool, and importantly, if you look on the bottom, it has the Game Boy Player. Now, the Game Boy Player was a cool accessory. So this is a essentially full Game Boy Advance that is built into this bottom slot. Now, Game Boy Players were neat. In fact, a lot of people still use Game Boy Players, a lot of like streamers and whatnot, because it's one of the best ways to get authentic, real video out of a Game Boy Advance game. But the key here is not only the fact that this is a unique colorway across the board. So in the US and most other regions, I think this only ever came in black. So the fact that you get the orange GameCube and Game Boy Player, I think looks really cool. But on top of that, I think in this one right here, we actually have the disc to make it work. Now, if you go to try to buy a Game Boy Player today, you can actually find them pretty easily, but it's useless without the disc. So I've seen listings for the discs going for more than the actual Game Boy Players themselves, because people lose these things over the years. So we've got the whole setup, including the orange controller, which is also a little bit scuffed, but not too bad looking. So this is Pokemon Colosseum.
What?
You couldn't have gone for Gale of Darkness?
Here's the thing. I got Colosseum, the Japanese version of Colosseum, and Poke Park for Wii. Colosseum is one of those games that I feel like a lot of people look back on fondly because it was definitely the most adult Pokemon game they ever made. Like literally you start out by bombing the bad guys' headquarters and stealing their machine, which you use to steal other people's Pokemon. So like $9 for these games is pretty good. But how much did I pay for the GameCube and complete Game Boy Player with the actual controller?
It is roughly $110 US.
Yeah, boy. Come on, it's GameCube. And their GameCube is set to 2136.
He's living in the breaking dude.
Let's go ahead and start out by playing with the Game Boy Player. Now, this is the thing I'm really excited about because I've never seen a colorized Game Boy Player before. I'm gonna put the disc in. I'm also gonna load up a copy of Pokemon Red. So you can see it's exactly like I have a Game Boy Advance. So the only extra thing is if I hit the Z button, you have a few extra different things. You can change like the controller layouts and whatnot. And as you can see, it is exactly like I have a Game Boy running on my GameCube. Now, I'm gonna load up a copy of Pokemon Colosseum and make sure this works so we can play a proper GameCube game. Subscribe. I'm gonna win this game. I'm gonna show my Pokemon skills and hope that I can read the Japanese names.
Suit them for what? What did they do?
Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is.
Cow meat in their shoes? What the hell? What do you mean somebody sued them?
You live this? Yeah, you do. Okay, we're good. Anyway, GameCube.
What do you mean somebody sued them?
Orange is orange, and Austin needs to pull out some Google Translate. When was the last time you played a game on your phone?
Never.
10 minutes ago, actually.
What kind of game were you playing?
I was playing.
Hey, no kids. What were you playing it on?
My iPhone.
So you would say that you're an Apple gamer, perhaps?
No.
I am.
Well, looky for you, I've got the brand new Apple Pippin. Now, the way this worked was that this was essentially a Mac designed to be a game console. So it's PowerPC based. It actually ran a version of Mac OS, but keep in mind that this was 94, 95, something like that. This was definitely mid-90s. Now, they actually did sell this globally, I think. There was something weird about like how Apple and Bandai did it together, and how Bandai, like there's like different versions or something, like it was branded Bandai in Japan and Apple elsewhere or something. Okay, oh my goodness, let's go. So it's actually been nicely packed inside of here. So I'm actually gonna go slow through this because I really want to see everything that we've got. Oh, yo, dude, this is minty. Did someone even ever like play this? Word Paint Mail? Oh, so there's extra stuff. So you know what? Whoever had this put extra discs in here, because I don't think that's listed on here. Oh, yo, dude, I'm so happy right now. Oh, let's go, let's go. Look at this, dude, this is mint. So you can definitely see the resemblance to like a regular computer. So it's not that same kind of beige, but you have yourself, these are not USB ports, these are controller ports. You also have what looks to be an aux up front, the disk drive, and you have a bunch of settings here. So you can fast forward, eject, play, change your volume, that whole thing. It has not only RCA out and whatnot, but it also has VGA. You can hook this up to a monitor. Look at this massive manual for Word Paint Mail. Why does it smell so good?
What? Whoa.
Oh, he's being so aggressive with it.
Some
It smells nice. And then there's even, dude, there's even more in here. I'm so excited.
I'm half watching
Look at how much paperwork they give
somebody
you.
was just like,
what is this, like my
"This smells so
register
good."
warranty or something?
I swear to God, I smell
I actually
cinnamon.
think that's not too
Like
far off.
cinnamon something.
That's got some crust.
Oh, I didn't
So
smell it.
that's so weird.
I thought you could.
What's going on?
So we
Am
got
I getting
ourselves the
haunted?
Pippin controller, which, dude, this is so mint. All right. We're gonna just say the Pippin controller left something to be
How did I smell
desired.
something
PS3
the moment he
controller?
said
I was
that?
gonna
That's
say.
weird.
That's the boomerang. So the way that the Pippin works, and you'll see in a minute, is that again, it's very Mac-like, which meant that you kind of were expected to have not a controller but a mouse. So that's why we have this trackball. Let's actually go get. We have like a VGA monitor because we can just plug this into a TV, but this supports high resolution 480p output via VGA. Let's get the absolute primo image quality for our Pippin, and I'll try to figure out how to use it in Japanese. Oh, okay, a couple button presses, it's fine. You hear that fan?
Yeah, sounds real bad.
It does not sound great.
Wow, an Apple product overheating? No way.
Ooh, wait, hold on, we got, is that a video signal? No, that looks like an error message. So with a regular CRT with an
What's
RCA
Mountain Dew?
connection, let's see if this works this time. Ew. It's telling me to put a disc in, and I put a disc in like a minute ago. You know what is the problem in this situation? The Pippin. The disk drive doesn't work.
Was
it
it
sucks
cinnamon
because like, you know, people talk about like game preservation and whatnot, and it's important largely because so many old consoles are dying. I'm gonna try another
think I
disc.
like
This
the
is a
pineapple
case in
stuff.
point for digital.
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you how it's done. I was really hoping that just worked and then you look dumb.
Who looks dumb now?
I mean, still you, but now it's just a growing list.
This is not good. No! What are you doing? We've come so far, and yet we're still so far. Last but certainly not least, we've got ourselves the Famicom that was so graciously donated by Sendico. Now, while I will say that it's incredibly nice of them to bestow upon me this Famicom, I'm not gonna let that cloud my judgment. I'm just trying to, well, I will say this emulation seems bad. You see all the weird scan lines? Oh, I'm dead now. As always, especially when you're purchasing items from Sendico, you have to keep in mind that
Girl,
you're
go
rolling
out
the
there
dice.
and enjoy your life.
Sometimes you get lucky
I probably
with your
should've
junk
enjoyed it.
console that
Who
shows up to be in
stopping you
immaculate
from
condition
enjoying
that you
your
got for
life?
$20.
You.
And sometimes a package gets delivered to the city of Los Angeles with your name on it and no further information other than
Me?
that. But luckily, I am the only Austin Evans.
There's like 6.
Let yourself be happy instead. I'm not repeating this. Real. I'm confused too. And that's saying you were miserable. I said, you're stopping yourself from being happy. The happiness is on a spectrum. I don't know, are you now? No, it's not. You sound hangry. You sound hangry. You sound like you need to eat. I don't know. Something you gotta ask yourself. What the hell is Bracatech? I've never seen that logo the entire time I've been playing this game. Yeah, that's my job.
We had Luke Beasley on the ground in Atlanta last week at the presidential debate, and he got some amazing interviews with some of the most suck-uppy of the Trump suck-ups, and none of them liked the lines of questioning that they got from Luke. And I'll be honest, Luke made a lot of these guys, including Vivek Ramaswamy, which I will play for you here, he made them look really stupid, really, really stupid. And we're going to start with the Vivek Ramaswamy conversation, and then we will get to others and different Trump suck-ups reacting to Luke in different ways. Let's start with Vivek Ramaswamy.
One of the attacks against Trump is commonly he wouldn't uphold the Constitution. What's your response to that?
My response to that is that's a lot of projection from the people who are making the accusations.
Does it
the
bother you
reality
that he
is
called for the termination of the Constitution?
He did not call for the termination
A
of the
massive
Constitution.
fraud of this type magnitude allows the
So now Luke has the troth from Trump memorized, and he starts reading it to Vivek. Vivek doesn't care. He doesn't want to hear it.
termination
He did
of all
not call
rules, regulations,
he did not
articles,
call,
even though it's found in the Constitution?
cite for me one time where Donald
On
Trump
Truth
called for the
Social.
termination of the Constitution.
I'm reading it to you right
he's
now.
Never,
On Truth
he's never
Social,
called for the termination
a
of the
massive
Constitution.
fraud of this type magnitude.
But here's what I
allows
believe.
the
Here's
termination
what I believe.
of
I'm going
all
to answer this question before I go to the
I'll
next
try to
interview.
Vivek sets up, I'm going to go to the next interview. He doesn't even let Luke fully get the quote out. This is how they do it. Luke has the quote. Trump did call and justify the termination of the Constitution, and Vivek just talks over it. That's how he gets out of actually having to contend with the matter.
Well, what I do believe is there's the projection of the people who do call for the termination of the Constitution and their behaviors want to take the decisions away from the voters. And never in American history have we seen the wielding of prosecutorial power to try to eliminate a candidate in the middle of an election while you had extrajudicial means of removing them from the ballot.
Yet of that, but
and
I
that's
do
an
want
insult.
to start with.
Before you head out.
All right. And then Luke is just kind of like, oh boy, well, that's pretty interesting stuff. So really nice job. Luke had the quote. Trump did call for it. Vivek won't engage with it. He'll say, well, there's other people who really want to terminate the Constitution and this other thing, and what else can I talk about? Then Elise Stefanik, bomb-throwing MAGA congresswoman. And Luke got her as well. This is really good stuff. Take a listen.
If you became Trump's vice president, obviously one of the things that has been pointed out, I think on the debate stage, is that Trump tried to get Pence to not certify the election results. Is that something that you agree with or don't agree when it comes to Pence's decision?
I stood up for the Constitution. I had concerns, and I believe that there was unconstitutional overreach in the 2020 election, as the majority of Americans agree with.
Aren't courts supposed to determine that?
The court, it goes to the state legislatures, and in the state of Pennsylvania, they circumvented the state legislature,
I'm saying,
which is unconstitutional.
in terms of the constitutionality,
People
the
understand
courts
that
disagree with you, right?
Let me answer your question. 2020, people understand that this election was unconstitutional, and they understand that the attacks on democracy are by Democrats who are illegally weaponizing the Department of Justice, the radical district attorney's office, who are, that's a form of
So no evidence of that, but you, it sounds like you are saying that you would go along with an anti-democratic attempt to block the peaceful transfer.
Of course you would. That's why she just wants to rattle off this verbal diarrhea.
Question before is I disagree with Mike Pence's approach. I stood on the House floor and I stood up for the Constitution and election integrity. I stand by that position, and the American people, that's one of the reasons why they support Donald Trump, because he supports the Constitution.
And off she goes without even saying thank you so much for speaking to me. They're all not at all happy with Luke Beasley being there. And then this may be my favorite. Luke then spoke to Byron Donalds, and this, I love this. Byron Donalds didn't even have the testicular fortitude to confirm Luke's credentials. As soon as he didn't like the line of questioning, some aide off screen to Byron Donalds asks Luke if he's actually even supposed to be there, which is like when you're trying to look at whether the person asking you the questions has the right slip of paper, which, by the way, Luke did, because I had I was invited to go to the debate, and we were all set up here for a stream, and it was too last minute for me. So I had my credential given to Luke. Of course he's there with credentials. There were multiple layers of security. And Luke, goes, hey, Byron can ask me if he has a question about my credentials. So take a listen to this.
One of the questions that I didn't hear an answer that was super clear from Trump on is so many people, dozens of people who left his administration, very different than Biden's administration, have said, this guy's not fit to be president. Yeah, it's right here. He can do it.
Wow, people really like
so
my
I don't know.
tweet
So I don't know how many of you caught that. So, an aide to Byron Donald off screen asks, do you even have a credential? And Luke says, yeah, it's right here. He can do it, right? If Byron Donalds has a question as to whether Luke's supposed to be there, Let Byron ask him about it. Okay, I'll move it back a few seconds so everybody can get that again.
Have said, this guy's not fit to be president. Yeah, it's right here. He can do it. Good man. So how do you explain that? So many people in the room for the most important decision saying this guy can't be anywhere close to the White House.
Well, first of all, let's say this. When you fire people, whether it's an administration or even out of a company, and I've noticed this in politics, political people don't think they should ever be fired, even when they're doing a bad job. A lot of times, which frustrates the American people, is political people fail and then they get promoted. And that's frankly what pisses a lot of people off. So if Donald Trump looked at people who were working for him early on and got rid of them and they have an axe to grind, I can't be concerned about
like
that.
Pence or all those people?
Or am I going to answer?
I give you a good amount of time.
Let me answer. Let me get to this.
He wants to, the reason they do this, he wants to run out the clock, give a single filibustering answer that's long enough that then he can go, listen, I got to move on because I've spent a lot of time with you, rather than allowing Luke follow-ups, of which there would be endless follow-ups because Byron Donalds is just being deceptive with every single word here. It's a strategy they use. Some of them use it better than others, right? I mean, he's working to prevent Luke from getting another question.
Now, will you answer the question, though?
You ready? Here we go. Now, Alejandro Mayorkas is a failure. Our border is wide open. Tony Blinken is a failure. Israel is embroiled in war. Ukraine is embroiled in war. Pete Buttigieg, this dude took off for a month. Nobody even knew he was gone.
You're not talking about Trump's administration officials.
Are you talking or am I talking?
Taking a long route to it.
Bro, I know on your side,
Mike Pence. Let's go with just Mike Pence.
On your side, I know you guys will just use talking points, but when you get...
The funny thing is, Luke asked a question. There's no... The talking points are, Luke asks Byron Donalds a question about the Trump administration, and Byron Donalds spends 70 seconds talking about Pete Buttigieg and Alejandro Mayorkas, which has nothing to do with the question, and then Byron has the audacity to go, you guys just use talking points. He's not even addressing even remotely the substance of the question.
An educated answer. Be patient and let me give it to you.
I want to hear Mike Pence, other administration officials, then I'm ready.
You go over there, and then when you're ready to have a conversation, come see me. Yes?
I'm ready. I'm here.
There you go. So Byron Donalds walking away. When you don't allow them, and the truth is, this happens, when we have a member of Congress on here and they start their filibustering, if I just interrupt the way Luke beautifully did here every time and go, you're not answering the question. Wait, but what about what I asked? What about what I asked? They just end the interview. And that's exactly what Byron Donalds is doing here by walking away. Really, really nice job by Luke. And then Luke also spoke to Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. He brought up the whole kerfuffle with Marjorie Taylor Greene. And let me play a little bit of that for you. It's also very, very interesting.
Absolutely. Just quick question. I'll get screamed at by my audience if I don't ask about Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I won't give you a general basic question. Instead, I want you to explain to my viewers, what do you think, because I think it's a lot, Marjorie Taylor Greene represents about the current state of the Republican Party, about this MAGA contingent.
Yeah. So here's the deal. We only have one her because, I mean, it's just hard to be that bad, to be perfectly honest. But we do know that she emulates Trump. She's like a baby Trump, right? She doesn't have policy ideas. She doesn't do anything but cause distractions. She doesn't do anything but name call and pick. And that's not what it is to be an elected official. That's what it is to be an ugly bully. And that's exactly what she is. And so if we don't think that it's okay for her, and her ratings around this country, her favorability, she's the lowest of all the Republicans, according to our numbers. So if you don't like it when Marjorie does it, you shouldn't like it when Donald does it either, because that's where she's getting her cues from. A little bit more frequently than the everyday citizen. They get to see the strong, competent, compassionate person that he is. And I think that that's what made everyone fall in love with him before. And so this is an opportunity for them to all fall in love with him again, because we know that there's only one person that can talk policy. There's only one person that has.
All right, so making the case there for Biden after what at that point was a disorientingly poor performance from President Biden. So really nice job there by Luke. You can check out Luke's channel at davidpakman.com/Luke. And we got to get Luke in more of these situations because it was very, very solid stuff. One of our sponsors.
You put that guard up, you push people away. Well, no shit, Sherlock. No shit. You put people away. What are you listening to? Oh no, they don't know something. I mean, it's not like they know what they're talking about. How they just talking. Talking to be talking. Oh wow. So you're being reverse racist. It just says you're so well, it is reverse racist. It's not. It's when in the base form. It's when you don't like you because of racism. You don't like white people because of something else. Because of the previous racism caused you to be racist. What? What did you? No, I'm not. Because of previous racism. Because I'm being real with it. All these other definitions are stupid. Because of reverse racism would be because of previous racism. You're now racist to the people who caused it. So you're so basically racism is a bias against a certain group. So reverse racism would be a bias against the original group that were racist in the first place. Does that not make sense? Because it does make sense. No, it don't. Reverse racism. Reverse racism is a response to racism in the first place. The first racism in the first place. So black people are racist to white people because white people were racist to black people first. Makes perfect sense. Yes. Because you're implying, you know what you're implying. I'm not going to say it because I'm on stream, but you know what you're implying when you say that. Well, what are you implying by saying that? Stop. You know what you're doing. I don't have to explain this to you. No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm going to have to mute my mic. But I can't because I'm on stream. Okay, I'll shoot. I'm muting on the stream. That's what you're implying. That's how it reads without context. I need more context. So I got it. I got what you were saying. I'm just telling you how it's coming off. Sweetheart. Snap, snap fingers. I said snap, snap fingers. I can't believe I messed this up. It took me this long to fix my mistake. I still got to go through this whole city and go to all the bars and play all the dart games and get all the paints up. I still gotta do all that on top of platinums are not worth it. I don't know what I'm doing with all that. You got something smart to say? It sounds like you got something smart to say. Say whatever you want to say with your chest. Don't sound like it. Mind your business. I don't know how to mind my business. I get bored. So
one of the bigger surprises from the Xbox Summer Showcase was Gears of War E-Day. I don't think any of us saw this coming. I thought we would see something Gears of War like Gears 6 or whatever, but not this. Not a prequel to the original Gears of War, so I wanted to talk about it a little bit. I wanted to dive into this one. I wanted to talk about some of the things I would like to see in this game, as well as I got to talk to some of the developers at the Coalition, the creative director, to kind of get a little more insight about this game. So I have some stuff for you guys, but I also want to just come out and say, because I've never really talked about it on this channel, I love me some Gears of War, specifically the early days. The original Gears of War, I played the hell out of. Frankly, really, that trilogy. I haven't replayed them a ton. I replayed the original a couple years back, but I still think 2 might be my favorite, but I just like these games. You guys know I like third-person adventure action shooters, and this really scratched that itch for me. Obviously, it's like a bro-y, chunky game, but there's a lot more to it when you look past the surface. And that's what I'm excited about the most, I think, with Gears of War E-Day. With it being a prequel, obviously, there's a lot of potential to fill some things out. Of course, I feel like I wanted to spend more time with these characters. I still really like these characters. I like the newer Gears of War games, but I still didn't quite accept Marcus Phoenix like getting old and like, you know, drifting off to the sunset, into the sunset, you know? I want to spend more time with him and these characters, so I think this is a good move, specifically because E-Day or Emergence Day is like a big deal in Gears of War lore, right? And there's potential to establish a lot more story, really flesh out Marcus and Dom. This is like 14 years or something like that, roughly, right? Before the events of Gears of War 1. So by that point, they're hardened, grizzled people. But speaking to the developers at the Coalition, they were excited to tell a story of soldiers discovering the Locust threat for the first time. This big emergence event just happening, and everybody being in shock and not really knowing what the hell is even going on. And I think that right off the bat immediately can make this game that is a prequel, and a lot of people will say is like a throwback, feel fresh and interesting. Because that's what I want here. I love, you know, returning to these characters and that stuff. And, you know, yes, it's a bit of a nostalgia play, but if they can walk the line and still make it feel interesting and different and like it's providing something worth experiencing other than nostalgia, I think that's where the fine line is, but I think that's where the success would really be. And in talking to the developers, what we did manage to get out of them is that they did say all the right words. They said that they do want to keep it dark, gory, gritty, edgy. Like they used those words, and that's cool because like Gears of War 1 specifically had a lot of darker moments, had a lot more horror inspired moments. Was it a scary game? No, but it just had a different vibe to it, and for them to go back to that, I like that. Coupled with the fact that these characters don't know what's going on, that makes it even more chaotic. And in terms of story, you know, I didn't get a lot out of the developers, but yes, they are going for a prequel thing where we spend a lot more time with Marcus and Dom and that relationship, but specifically them coming home from the Pendulum Wars, being absolutely exhausted from that human war, and then suddenly this happening. All this chaos, all this Locust Horde stuff invading. That's interesting, coupled with the fact that they did mention that they are, you know, going to use elements from like the expanded media beyond the games, but not just do that. They're gonna like kind of go around that and fill in the blanks. When they specifically mentioned Carlos, I was interested. Carlos is Dom's brother. Not only is he Dom's brother, but he's also one of Marcus Phoenix's best friends, and Carlos dies. And the game, according to them, is going to deal with that. To what extent, I don't know, but that theme of loss is going to be something in the game. And from a story perspective, I find that very interesting because I think Gears of War is at its best when it's like broy soldier dudes crying over losing one another and their loved ones. It sounds dark, but like that's part of the identity here. And now with that, with the whole Marcus and Dom thing, one thing I really want is I want the voice actors to return, the original voice actors. I asked developers, and I got, the typical, like, we cannot confirm or deny yet, because that stuff may not be set in stone, or they just don't want to reveal it yet. Now, I could see a reality where they do actually get new voice actors, because this takes place so many years earlier. I feel like that's why they would justify it, and I don't know if, like, Marcus Phoenix's actor is, like, he probably is pretty expensive at this point. There's been some things. DiMaggio is like a goat, but like I really would want him to return. I think with Marcus Phoenix particularly, he is one of those characters where the voice actor really makes the character. Like a Nathan Drake, someone who I would not find anywhere near as interesting if he wasn't voiced by someone as iconic as Nolan North. That voice is the personality. And I think that's the same with Marcus. So I really hope we get DiMaggio back. One thing that the developers did confirm with me is that this is like not a big open world game. Some people saw like the wide open city shot at the end of the trailer and thought they were going for an open experience. As of right now, that doesn't seem to be the intention. They reiterated that they are doing more of a linear, straightforward Gears of War style campaign. And I think that's good. What I do want to see is more set piece horror moments, but just set piece iconic, memorable moments. Like that first encounter with the Berserker, like the tension, the just like surprise, like what the hell is this? This is crazy. Moments like that. That's where Gears really excelled. So I want to see more of that. And what I also want to see is more of the world. I actually always found the visual design and architecture and everything like that of the world of Gears of War very interesting. Specifically like Jacinto from Gears of War 2. Just incredible shit. And like we don't technically know what city, I don't think that they showed, like they haven't confirmed what it is. They wouldn't confirm it to me. But those early Gears of War games, I just like the look of the place. Like clearly a war has happened, things are crumbled, things are destitute, but you see beautiful statues, soaring skyscrapers, just really interesting out there sci-fi architecture that doesn't feel high fantasy. It feels big, but it feels kind of grounded. I don't know. It's hard to describe the world design in those games, but like I want to see more of that. And with it being years earlier, before the place is completely ravaged by war, I think that has a lot of potential. That's where the game can really stand out. I think the setting. And in terms of how it plays, it is a Gears of War game. The developers did confirm to me it's going to play like Gears of War. It's a new engine. It's Unreal Engine 5, so they did say that they are rebuilding everything from the ground up. So it may feel a little different, but they're going for that style of gameplay. They're not going from like God of War 3 to God of War 2018 or anything like that. Like it's a Gears of War game. They're going to innovate. They're going to try new things in it like they have with other games, but it's a Gears of War game. And with that, all I can say I really want is a lot of chainsawing and also the Gnasher shotgun. I just want like the OG Gnasher shotgun, OP as hell, so satisfying to use. That's what I want. I also, like Cliffy B, original series creator, did post online that he was like excited about this. He's not involved anymore, of course, but he kind of talked about like building up to the reveal of the Lancer chainsaw and making it like a big moment in the game, a big story moment. And I actually think that's really cool. Like I don't want to like speak for the people working on the game and what they already have going on, but that would be a really cool reveal. That would be a really fun thing to build up to. Is it a little bit of a nostalgia play? Yeah, sure, but I think they could add enough to it to make it really interesting. And going back to like what I would want from Gears of War gameplay, again, I don't know how much you shake up that formula. I am not a game developer. That's why I leave it to them. But I don't know. I like commanding squad members a little bit. I like just feeling chunky. I love taking cover against the wall and you feel that slam, I would love a lot more gore and like dismemberment and like real-time enemies getting like busted up as you shoot them. Satisfying feedback stuff like that. But otherwise, I'm just looking to see what they're cooking up. I also would very much like split screen, co-op, and good old-fashioned, simple, straightforward multiplayer. Multiplayer I can play on the couch split screen, but also online. I actually really liked Gears 5's multiplayer for quite a bit. I was actually fairly decent at it. I just like playing as Sarah Connor. I don't know, that was cool. But yeah, back to basics, no nonsense, simple approach. You know, I don't need battle passes for something like Gears of War. Just drop me in environments and let me shoot my friends or randos. Because that's the other thing I remember the most from Gears of War. The original Gears of War, I remember the build up. I remember it being like this amazing Unreal Engine thing. Look at the graphics. This is crazy. Xbox is crazy, like all of that. But also playing through that game and experiencing that world for the first time and then jumping into multiplayer and just, again, having split screen on a TV, on the couch with your friends, just running into the middle of the map and Nasher shotgunning each other. That's really how it all went down. And I love that. I have fond memories of that. So that's why I was excited with this Gears of War reveal. I know it was a trailer. Apparently it's like running in-game assets, whatever. It's probably going to be a long time before we actually see more of this game. That's just like my speculation here. They have been working on it for a minute. Apparently the idea was cooked up around COVID around that time, but that was quite some time. So we'll see how this goes. Again, it is a different team. It is the Coalition taking on classic Gears, so it could feel different. I don't know. I'm just looking forward to seeing what the deal is. I like video games, and I hope this one is good. But that's what I do here. If you're new, I just talk about stuff I like, stuff I find interesting. And I'm just glad that Xbox finally gave me personally something to chew on. They showed us Fable again. I'm a diehard Fable fan, but I still don't know what the deal even is with this new game. But at least I know also that now we're getting some sort of classic Gears of War at some point. So I want to know what you guys think in the comments about this. Some of the little bits of info I got from the developers, but also what you would want to see in a new Gears of War. Of course, with Marcus and Dom, who else do you want to see? There's a lot of potential, right, to reintroduce and almost even recontextualize certain classic characters. So who do you want? What do you want to see? What origins do you want to see? From a gameplay perspective, what do you want? That's where I'm a little out of ideas because I don't make video games. But let me know what you think about this stuff. I think we could have a good conversation. Let me know what you think. Clicking the like button does help me personally. Thank you. Because I'm just talking about shit I love here. So if you get that, thank you. Either way, I'm Jake Baldino. Pizza's on me. Subscribe because video games.
I don't understand. Should I really not know it? That's like the Scooby Doo one. Good. What is this? I want to be done with this game. I'm gonna take a break.
Watching orbital.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now. Had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now. Had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now. Had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now. had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
Requesting orbital.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
Requesting orbital.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
Requesting orbital.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
Requesting orbital.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
Requesting orbital.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
Requesting orbital.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
Requesting orbital.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
Requesting orbital.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
Requesting orbital.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
Requesting orbital.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
Requesting orbital.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
Requesting orbital.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
Requesting orbital.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
Both displays are IPS LCD, both are 60 Hz and have an aspect ratio of 16:10, which makes them great for watching content. And of course, both are touchscreens, as I mentioned. But in addition to the higher resolution, the 2.5K display is brighter at 400 nits, and it has 100% sRGB. So which one should you get? For the typical person who's browsing the web, working with emails, scrolling through social media, and watching content, the Full HD Plus model, the one that I got, works great. I use this laptop for all of my everyday work when managing the channel, so a lot of emails with different brands, replying to your comments, which I try to do as much as possible. I used it to play some games and watch movies, and I was happy with the performance. But if you're editing photos and videos at a level where color is super important to you and you want 100% sRGB, then definitely get the better display. Also, if you just like a higher resolution display because when you're working with spreadsheets or documents or when you're browsing web pages, you can see more content without having the scroller. If you just want a brighter display because you're working outside or having to deal with reflections, then again, the 2.5K display is the better option. When I consider price and performance, I'm super happy with my choice, and right now at Best Buy, you can save up to $300 on select Lenovo laptops powered by Intel. The one thing to keep in mind is that the higher resolution display will take a toll on your battery life. And that was one of the main reasons that I chose the Full HD Plus model, because for how I use this laptop, I wanted to prioritize battery life. Now, the rating for both models is only off by 1 hour, and I'm sure that's accurate if you're using them both at the same brightness level. But I would probably have the 2.5K version turned all the way up, and I know that there's always a give and take when it comes to brightness and battery life. Now, in any case, the battery life has been excellent so far, and I've been using this laptop in balanced mode. Of course, if I wanted the best battery life, I could just switch to best power efficiency mode. And if I needed additional performance, I could just go with best performance, which is what I used for benchmarks. And speaking of that, I already mentioned that the Lenovo Yoga 7i is built on the Intel platform. We're looking at a 13th gen Intel processor, the i7-1355U. And in case you're new to this, the U means that this chip is optimized for efficiency and has lower power consumption, which in this case is only 15 watts. For GPU performance with the integrated Intel Iris Xe graphics, we're getting decent performance considering it's an integrated and not discrete GPU. So you can play less demanding games and even some heavier games, especially if you lower the setting, but this is clearly not intended to be a dedicated gaming laptop. If you're buying this laptop, it's because you appreciate how versatile of a device it is and all the different modes that it has. So other than the typical laptop mode, which you see right here, we also have tablet mode where the display flips over completely and you can use it in landscape or portrait modes and of course with the stylus. We then have tent mode and stand mode, which I like when I'm watching movies because it brings the display closer to me. And again, this is where I super appreciate having the solid hinges, so I don't have to worry about anything flopping down. Now, the keyboard on the 16-inch has a number pad on the right. It has a full row of super useful function keys and dedicated media controls. The keyboard itself is nice and big, the keys have a good amount of bounce back, and they've been really nice to type on. The keys are backlit, they have 2 levels of brightness, and all you need to do is hold the function button and then tap the space bar to cycle through the options. The trackpad is nice and big, it's been responsive and accurate, it's a springboard design, so it's easier to press towards the button, and it worked great for 2-finger scrolling or when I pinched to zoom. And the one thing that I had to get used to is that it's a little offset on the palm rest assembly because of the number pad on the right. The camera is 1080p, and a really nice touch is the privacy shutter. So you can physically block the lens, and you have to tape anything at the top of your laptop if you're worried about your camera being on. There's noise canceling tech in the microphone for video calls, and here's a quick sample of both. Here's a camera and microphone test of the Lenovo Yoga 7i 16-inch. This should give you a pretty good idea of the type of image quality that you're going to get and the type of audio quality that you should expect. Okay, so let's talk about configurations. You can get up to 16 gigabytes of DDR5 5200 megahertz RAM. It's running in dual channel mode, but it's not upgradable. And I would definitely recommend getting 16 gigabytes so that you can keep this laptop running faster for longer. I got 512 gigabytes of SSD storage, which is plenty for what I need. It's M.2 PCIe Gen 4 and has very good read and write speeds. So if you're looking for an affordable and extremely versatile 2-in-1, which is powered by a capable and efficient Intel chip, has very good battery life, a big display, and plenty of ports, check out the Lenovo Yoga 7i 16-inch. Now you should watch this comparison. You know what I always say, buy it nice or buy it twice. Good luck and see you soon.
But where should I go? Where should I go?
This is Lenovo Yoga Pro 7. Whenever I make a laptop video, I like to ask a simple question. Who is this for? It really refines a lot of the criticism that I might have for a system, because what might make a thin, light laptop perfect for one person might make it a complete disaster for someone else. So when Lenovo and AMD reached out to sponsor a video on this, the Yoga Pro 7, the answer was pretty clear. It is designed for creators, whether you're working on your portfolio or working on memes. And that means that the priorities are different. I want battery life, but I also want something at least somewhat portable. I want a big, bright, color accurate screen. And almost above all, I want to see performance. I need to be able to handle video and photo editing and maybe a little bit of gaming on the side. This is meant to deliver a little bit more firepower thanks to the fact that it is using the AMD Ryzen 8040 series processors, which specifically have not only RDNA 3 graphics, but also Ryzen AI. And there's a lot to talk about there, but first, let's actually open it up and take a look. All right, so we have ourselves a 140 watt USB-C charger. So this device does come optionally with an RTX 3050, or you can get it with integrated graphics. Honestly, for a device like this, I would actually probably lean toward the integrated graphics option, because I will tell you, the RDNA 3 GPU inside is quite potent. Now we have the device itself. Excessive use may cause damage to your vision. Thank you, I appreciate that. Excessive use of any screen will cause damage to your vision. Except, I've been told that excessive watching of the Austin Evans channel only makes you more attractive. I don't have an actual statistic on that, but I mean, I've been watching my videos for years. Look what happened to me.
So the same thing.
Does look surprisingly thin and light. Let's crack it open and see. All right, so we take this off. And we've got ourselves the Yoga Pro 7. And it also, I immediately tell you, it has a matte display. You can see that makes a big difference. So this is using one of their PureSight Pro panels. Well, let's fire it up, shall we? The way that they've designed this is that it sort of tapers quite heavily from the side to the bottom. It feels really nice in the hand. It makes it feel significantly thinner than it actually is. It's got the full lie flat hinge. This is neat. Lenovo is the biggest PC manufacturer in the world. They have a number of lines. Obviously, ThinkPad is a tremendously successful brand, but that's much more sort of business corporate oriented. Legion and Locke are much more on the gaming side. But Yoga is meant to be not the laptop for everyone, but the laptop for someone who wants to be a bit more creative. You know, they have all these stats about what the percentage of people who buy Yogas and then create content with them. It's quite high. And so I think they make a lot of decisions to make that content creation better. So having spent a little bit of time editing with the Yoga Pro 7i, I have some initial thoughts. First and foremost, it is incredibly cool that every 2024 Yoga comes with 2 months for free of Adobe Creative Cloud. Even if you're already a paying subscriber, it will just be added on. That is a big win. Now, obviously, you can use Premiere, Photoshop, the whole thing, and editing this short, which, mind you, it's only like 30-something seconds long, but it is a full 4K video. This handles it with absolutely no problems at all. The nice thing is, I can pretty much do my full workflow on this system, including switching over to something like CapCut, where I can use some lovely effects to get exactly the beautiful cinema quality images that I am accustomed to. And that, I think, just kind of goes to show more so of what these systems are capable of now. You know, with the Ryzen AI on board, not only can you use things like image generation, and believe me when I say, 2024 is going to be a year where that NPU being on board is going to be very helpful for a lot of features that are coming down the road. On top of that, you have the RDNA graphics, you have the Ryzen CPU core, you also have the RTX 3050 on board. There's really sort of nothing that you're missing here. Now, yes, if you're really trying to crush extended length 4K videos and ProRes and RAW and all that kind of stuff, that's probably going to be a little bit outside the scope of what you're expecting to do on this thin and light laptop. But what you do have is enough performance for, I would say, the vast majority of content creation. Now, the screen and speakers also work pretty well. So I like the fact that this is a very high-res display that has that matte coating. And on top of that, if I turn the volume a little bit, the speakers, the quad speakers built in here are actually pretty good. Okay, so I do have the third party. I actually like using laptop speakers to mix my audio on because it's a sort of good general mix between something like headphones and like a stereo on one end and something like the phone speaker, which most people use on the other side. So if something sounds good on laptop speakers, especially when they're a good set like this, it generally sounds pretty good everywhere. One of the features that really stood out to me is the PureSight Pro LCD. The 14.5-inch 3K panel has the all-too-elusive matte finish. It's also supposed to have low blue light emission, which is healthier on your eyes, but the thing I really appreciate is the buttery smoothness of the 120Hz refresh rate. Now don't get me wrong, this is not meant to be a gaming laptop, but for casual use, it's really not bad, especially equipped with the RTX 3050. But how is it to actually live with? Something I want to show more in laptop videos is how fast they are to wake from sleep. This one's fairly snappy, and it does have Windows Hello support, meaning you can get up and running really quickly. Now, a couple of general thoughts on using the Yoga. I am, as always, a huge fan of these keyboards. It's got 1.5 millimeters of key travel, it's backlit, it's really nice. What I'm not a huge fan of is the trackpad. It's a nice physical size for a laptop like this, but listen to what it sounds like.
I got you.
It's fine, but the problem is that it just feels a little bit hollow, and that's something that you don't get with some of the higher-end Yogas. So while I like the size of it, I wish that they had sort of refined that click a little. Other than that, though, the build quality is really quite nice, and they do have a good sustainability angle with no plastic in the packaging, and some of the materials here are recycled, but the entire thing feels very premium. So here's the thing, I actually find this is quite a good device for content consumption. So the matte display, the high resolution, the high frame rate, it all looks good for watching video, the speakers are solid. Like, there's so many things that are going for a laptop like this that while, yes, it is designed for creators, you don't have to be creating all the time to get the most out of this device because it's still quite thin, it's quite portable. You've got good battery life, like it checks so many boxes, but importantly, it has some extra features and importantly, performance to push it over the edge compared to a lot of super thin and light devices, which, let's be real, aren't that much thinner and that much lighter than what you're getting here. So, who is this laptop for? Well, it's pretty obvious that it was designed with creators in mind. We've got that beautiful display, the 4 crisp speakers, plenty of power, AI everywhere, and even a free 2-month membership to Adobe's Creative Cloud. It honestly does feel premium. But who it's designed for and who actually should buy are sometimes two different things. And honestly, a lot of the things that make this laptop good make it very applicable to a wide majority of people. I mean, think about it. Almost everyone is a creator to some form or another. Maybe you're making videos all day, or maybe you're just making memes or cutting together family videos. Everyone can benefit from a lot of these creator-focused features. That's what I think Lenovo does quite well. It's a solid product that has a good focus on features that actually benefit what the user needs. Now, as I'm recording this video, we don't yet have pricing on the Pro 7, but assuming that it's somewhere in the neighborhood of the last generation, it is an easy recommendation for pretty much anyone who wants a solid laptop that will get some work done, maybe a little bit of gaming on the side, and more importantly, is designed for years and years of use down the line. So thank you very much to Lenovo and AMD for sponsoring this video. If you want to check out the Pro 7, the link will be in the description. Until next time, my friend, I'll be making both my portfolio and my memes on my shiny new yoga. Oh no! Oh no! Can I use AI to fix that light falling in the background in the middle of my take? Why would we fix it in real life when we can use AI? I need to be a totally different person just to fix it, because honestly, this is the future. We're gonna cap cut the whole thing, and I'm gonna be animated, and it's gonna be hilarious. I just can't wait.
God. Try to just be done, please.
People.
Nigga to the proxy running around like he's what's up with these bony ass niggas trying to stick out. But come on in, I'm coming up through it. I mean, there's too many up in the path of everybody who's like that. I'll beat your ass and I the bottom of the car wash. Because you gotta pop out and show me. So the 500 and I don't want to just go in. Time I know he doesn't go in. So I know just be soon to be away.
Playing with his toes down. I'm kind of weird case flies around for the climb, bubble voice of a thought, kind of foul. Just fuck them up. I'm a my stuff. Like turn like a bitch, change the tiger and try to fuck the toys and fucking my girl. They not like us. 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 They not like us.
Who be making these? Why are these so funny? They're not supposed to be funny. They're hilarious.
Go forward, I think. With COVID, I could be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been through with COVID. I was gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been doing with COVID. I was gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been doing the with COVID. That's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do. The with COVID. That's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do. The with COVID. That's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do. The with COVID. That's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do. The with COVID. That's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do. The with COVID. That's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do. The with COVID. That's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do.
Skibbity boobah rooms.
It's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do. The with COVID. It's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do. The with COVID. It's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do. The with COVID. It's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do. The with COVID. It's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do. The with COVID. It's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do. The with COVID. It's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do. The with COVID. It's gonna be with dealing with everything eligible for what I've been able to do. The with COVID. It's gonna be with
got no job, but I stay sharp. Can't break my rent, so my money's spent. But that's okay, cause I'm still fine. I don't wanna take the gas in my blue key class. That's alright, cause I'm gonna ride. Get a ball, I built that funky suit. Ain't got no job, but I stay sharp. Can't break my rent, so my money's spent. But that's okay, cause I'm still fine. I don't wanna take the class in my blue key class. That's alright, cause I'm gonna ride. Get a ball, I built that funky suit. Ain't got no job, but I stay sharp. Can't pay my rent, cause all my money's spent. But that's okay, cause I'm still fine. I don't wanna take the gas in my new key class. That's alright, cause I'm gonna ride. Get a ball, I built that funky suit. Ain't got no job, but I stay sharp. Can't pay my rent, cause all my money's spent. But that's okay, cause I'm still. AEW is wearing the best wrestling pants. Take a beat. Sometimes for that. Good day. Of cells of retire actions lab. We have that actions that was my lab. That was my lab. And I kind of like hating cells like not funny, no, lasted
notice people when you like brush it. They'd be like, smile.
Finally, I got that fucking trophy. Excuse my language. I feel some cussing out. She's well.
Stop nothing.
No, it's really time to take a break.
Stop that. Yeah. The impressions. The impressions and just how it